Welcome to the December 14th, 2021 school board meeting for the town of Speedway. Please stand as you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are working from a 12-item agenda for this evening's meeting. And the first item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of our regular meeting held November the 9th of 2021.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 9th of 2021.
Thank you,
I'll second.
and thank you. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please signify. And that passes unanimously. Our second agenda item this evening is to approve the transfer of budget appropriations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Each year, a matter of routine business is to authorize the school corporation treasurer, Nancy Johnson, to adjust budget appropriations and to close the financial books in the proper manner for 2021. A complete record of these adjustments will be presented to the board for consideration in January. The recommendation is to authorize the treasurer to make budget adjustments as necessary to close the books of 2021 in a timely manner.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the transfer of budget appropriations.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Is there a discussion on this motion? Hearing and seeing none. If all those in favor of approval of this motion would please signify. And it passes unanimously. The third agenda item this evening is to appoint a Board of Finance and to schedule a meeting of the Board of Finance.
Mr. President, in the past, the board has appointed itself and its current officers as the Board of Finance, and the recommendation is to continue that practice. In addition, the recommendation is set a Board of Finance meeting for 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday, January 11th, 2022.
Is there a motion concerning this issue?
Well,
Yes.
I move that we appoint ourselves as a Board of Finance and schedule our meeting for the Board of Finance in January.
Thank you.
I'll second.
I appreciate that. Is there discussion on the Board of Finance and Board of Finance meetings motion? Hearing and seeing none. But all those in favor of this motion, please signify. And it passes unanimously. The fourth item on the agenda is to approve 2022 salaries and benefits for the non-teaching groups of employees.
The recommendation is to approve the enclosed schedule of the 2022 wages, salaries, and benefits for non-teaching employees.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the 2022 salaries and benefits for non-teaching groups of employees as presented to us.
Thank you very much.
I'll second.
I appreciate that. Is there discussion on this motion? Hearing none, would all those in favor of this motion please signify? And it passes unanimously. The fifth item on our agenda this evening is to review ESSER funds. These are the relief funds for the COVID pandemic.
At this time, I'll bring up Ms. McIntosh to discuss some of the relief fund planning and why we're doing this at this time, as she's grabbing it in front of her. This is something that we started 6 months ago, and by law and by what we're told to do to continue this update, we're going to go ahead and share this with you, well, more than every 6 months, but this is the time that we wanted to go ahead and go through this one more time.
Sure. So, as you know, school districts are receiving different pots of money, relief fund sources as a result of COVID-19. Each of those different grants that we receive has different requirements around it and different dates in which it has to be expended. And so we've taken a look at that and tried to develop a focus in each of those different pots of money. For example, one of them is focused primarily, the majority of funds in facilities and safety of facilities and upgrades. One is focused more heavily in technology. One's focused more heavily in staffing, and have tried to be strategic on where we place our focus with planning for that money. But the biggest chunk of this money doesn't have to be expended until 2024. Therefore, it's fluid, and we have developed plans around our needs right now, but know that we have to keep some flexibility because there will be adjustments in our needs, 3 years from now. So the pie charts reflect where our allocations currently lie. We will try to update this every month, and some months there's not many changes, but we'll be presenting this in front of the school board at least every 6 months. One of the requirements of accepting relief money is that we do provide updates every 6 months, and so we'll be sure that this is scheduled at that frequency at a maximum. Okay? Any questions about that?
Other questions? I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
The sixth agenda item this evening is an update on the return to instruction plan for the school town of Speedway.
Each board meeting, we have an update of what our protocols are for COVID-19. There is no change in our protocols at this time. The important thing to note is that our COVID cases did go up slightly in the last week. We send those home via Parent Square, and you can see that they've gone up a little bit. They're still not to the level they were earlier in the fall. An important thing is that Marion County guidelines still allow us to keep school students in school if they're considered a close contact, if they are wearing a mask and the affected person is wearing a mask, or if the person is vaccinated that comes in contact with a close contact. So this is the guidelines of the Marion County Health Department, and our protocols follow what the Marion County Health Department currently say.
Thank you. Are there questions for the administration on the protocols? No. All right. Then we will move on to the seventh agenda item, which is approve an agreement for deaf, hard of hearing services.
We have relied on partnerships with bigger school corporations for the past several years to provide deaf, hard-hearing teaching services since we have so few students. The Avon teacher who previously helped us out cannot do that anymore, and we gave a call to Zionsville, and they said yes. So the recommendation is to approve this agreement with deaf, hard, and hearing services with Zionsville Community Schools.
Thank you.
Mr.
Yes.
President, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for deaf and hard of hearing services with Zionsville.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Is there a discussion about this new memorandum of understanding for deaf and hard of hearing services?
I just have one question for public knowledge. How many students roughly are we talking about?
5.
Any other discussion or questions?
We need a motion? Do we have a motion?
We do.
I move that we approve the agreement for the deaf, hard of hearing services.
I'll second.
Okay.
I thought I already did.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that.
That's
I was going to
okay.
say, were we having discussion? So we must have, right?
Yes.
We do-
So, all those in favor of having the superintendent approve the new memorandum of understanding, please signify.
We really, really want to approve this.
Okay, that
we approved
passes
it twice.
unanimously.
Just following your lead.
That's why I asked. And then we were all kind of,
The 8th item on the agenda this evening is to approve a park board and redevelopment appointment.
Mr. President, the recommendation is for the board to recommend Jim Murley as teacher, and he's a teacher and coach at Speedway High School, as a park board member.
Thank you. Yes?
I'll move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation and approve park board and redevelopment, or park board nomination, Jim Murley.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item?
We're good.
Anybody else?
All right, hearing no second motion or discussion. Would all those in favor of approving the motion, please signify. Thank you, that passes unanimously. The 9th item on the agenda this evening is to acknowledge the grants received by Speedway schools in the last month. This time, they total $542,246.59. The 10th agenda item this evening is to approve personnel report.
Personnel report for the month of December has got several items on it. First of all, there are 2 resignations. One is from Penny Jarrett Gelhausen, who works in our cafeteria, Carl Fenters, who was a varsity assistant softball coach. Disability leaves of Stacy Burke, a teacher at the junior high school, and Whitley Duman, a teacher at Allison Elementary. And then employment of Claudia McClure as assistant cafeteria manager at the high school. Matthew Sinkoski for a disability leave for Mrs. Burke. Gage Norris is the head wrestling coach at Speedway Junior High School. Taylor Jones is a Title IX social emotional mentor. Sam Aarons is assistant baseball coach at Speedway Junior High School. Megan Horger as assistant swim coach at Speedway Junior High. Sirocco Lewis Aguilar as custodian. Crystal Connor as custodian. And Michael Spalding as assistant wrestling coach at Speedway Junior High. My recommendation is to approve the report as presented.
I move that we approve the personnel report as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there discussion of any of the parts of the personnel report for this month's meeting? Hearing none. If all those in favor of the motion would please signify. And that passes unanimously. The 11th agenda item this evening is to recognize the visitors and any other business.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Dr. Reed. Is there any other business to bring before us?
No, sir.
Okay. Then at this time, we will end our meeting and go approve claims and warrants. Thank you all very much.